when I see you in the morning? Will you still want to be true? I can dream, I can dream that we'll see a brighter day.
And I'm alive, more alive than I've ever been your way. And I'm alive, more alive than I've ever been your way. Lay down, staring at the sunset, and I wonder how it all came down to this one moment. Think of all my dedication, and I wonder how it all came down to this one moment. Sometimes when nothing's going right, I wish that I could go back in time. Back in time. Tonight I feel the tides moving, and this is bigger than me. Now I need to breathe. Sometimes when nothing's going right, I wish that I could go back in time. Back in time. Tonight I feel the tides moving, and this is bigger than me. Now I need to breathe. I lay down, staring at the sunset, and I wonder how it all came down to this one moment. Think of all my dedication, and I wonder how it all came down to this one moment. Sometimes when nothing's going right, I wish that I could go back in time. Back in time. Tonight I feel the tides moving, and this is bigger than me. Now I need to breathe. Flowers that bloom and protects my heart. There's a voice that is calling. It's calling for me to go beyond where I've always been longing. I'm longing to find where I belong. Soon this fight will come to an end. The Valkyrie chose to When we were young, endless wonder, thoughts of death were not a cause to live slowly. Now the unknown seemed to haunt us. Could this physical experience be free? What is fate revealing? Will I survive? Or will I fall? I don't understand what they want from me. They take my hands, washing them in dirty water. Try to find what's right in a distant place, so far away. The silence fills my heart with empty space. But now I'm sure of where I'll go from here. And tensions rise, they push me to divert my vision. But I will break the ceiling and the walls that kept me in for all this time. And all the reasons that I cannot find. They'll wait for me to fall under that pressure. They'll wait for me to give it up. Well, I will not work against the forces I trust. Have to stay above the rushing water. I will do my best to keep myself composed. It takes a lot not to overload. They can't tell me what is right for me. I just need peace of mind and my ability. But no one said that it would be this hard. I've got my sights on a brand new beginning. A steady rhythm will hold me to the shore. I've got my sights on a brand new beginning. A steady rhythm will hold me to the shore. strangers to being alone. We're not perfect, we're just trying to find a place to rest our bones. Could it be you I can run to? Could it be you I can run to? Could it be you I can run to? Could it be you I can run to?
Spring season. It's all about Overwatch this evening, coming to you live from under 1,000 tons of snow. My name is Peter Canapet-Hartnell, joined by Chris Stealth to bring you 3 of our finest games this evening. Chris, how's it going?
Snowy, basically. It is really quite bad over here. We've got a red weather warning this morning, so you can tell that I am locked myself into my room, stayed away from the weather to bring you some top-notch Overwatch action.
Now, we did have listed down for our first game this evening in the University of York. Unfortunately, there have been some problems with getting that lobby together, so we're going to have to switch across for our first game. Instead, heading to the University of Bath for the Bath Rubber Ducks, taking on the University of Manchester Lucios, heading to King's Row, as is so often the want of the NUEL teams.
Well, King's Row is one of those which is just so heavily favoured upon many. For me, it's one of my top 3 favourite maps, just because of the way that I like to play. I'm more of a support character myself, so I prefer these sorts of avenues where I can just hide away behind a corner or a wall or two. So it'd be interesting to see how both teams will set up for this one, seen as the meta could heavily have changed with recent buffs coming in, and I can actually spot over in the top right there, Agent Rogue was Sombra for a second. I don't know if they're going to stick with that one.
I really hope we get to see some Sombra playing out, but Yes, I mean, the ability to just lock down so much more mobility with Sombra gives certainly some good potential. But whether or not Bath or Manchester have adapted to that as part of their strategy remains to be seen. Let's get started. Bath over on the blue, Manchester on the red. We'll see how well these two 4-win teams do. Both of them coming into week 3 with a chance, with a shot to make it towards the top of the table. But whoever wins out here will have a vastly better chance.
Oh, absolutely. It just makes things all the sweeter, doesn't it? Well, we'll see how things will go into it. So we've got 30 seconds of warm-up time. Give them a bit of a chance to talk over some strategies with one another. See how they're going to set up. Well, on the defensive side of things, you can see we've got a Diva, a Reinhardt, Lucio, Reaper, Roadhog, and a Moira. Moira being heavily favoured at the minute is probably one of the top tier in supports. See how this one will pan out for them.
Alright, Bath the first on a defense. Certainly a lot of beef to get past for Manchester. Let's see if they can manage it charging out of the gates. Got the shields coming out, going to clash directly into one another.
Exactly that. Massive gunfight already going straight away through. Push coming in from Manchester, going huge already. The Reinhardt blocking as much damage as possible, and the opposition coming in with the Roadhog managed to connect with a few shots and passes her back away. Moira doing a mass amount of healing already on both sides.
Dom being driven back, Finna down pretty low as well. Necroblade has got the ult ready, is going to deploy it straight away, cutting through the Manchester team. But Finna is the one going down, and it looks like Manchester have managed to break the line here. Bath being driven back, last run remaining. It's going to be a complete push off the point with that last kill coming through.
Absolutely, and if you manage to secure this one, very, very quick time, hold them back, and Bath has nothing to do but have to set up for the next choke point as they look to escort their way through King's Row now.
Alright, with 3 minutes remaining, now of course turning up to 5 and 22. Let's get going into the streets themselves and see if the second attempt at a defense from Bath is any more successful than the first. Shields coming out, the exchange of the opening gunfire, and Bath switching from side to side as they try and divide the fire from Manchester.
Well, as it stands, Reinhardt's going to soak up a lot of damage. They look to go through to around this first corner, but it'll be the Zarya with the opening start, trying to force her way through. Shots have been fired. Swing with the hammer there from Reinhardt. Nothing managed to connect, but now pushes his way through. Managed to push through and away from 2. The ultimate has come in from Zarya. That's able to connect all 5 players, but none of them will fall. That's very interesting, as the use of that can really cause some mass amount of damage when combined with another ultimate.
I think it was a sound barrier, I believe, from WoW Apples to block out some of that damage, and for the moment it looks like Bath are going to be able to hold the line, able to take possession of the payload for the time being. Manchester not as much success with their second round of aggression as they did with the first.
Let's see how they go into this one now, because they're still holding them fast. Very well played so far from Bath. The Diva trying to do some damage on top of the payload and manages to just stay alive. Does get hit with the Earth Shatter, but manages to stay alive. Mass amount of healing coming in again. Ultimate has come in. Will it do any damage? It will pick up 1, and that will be the Pharah that will fall.
Pix has been doing a lot of damage from up on high, not going to be an issue anymore as ult's coming out once again, holding the line for the moment for Bath, but they are starting to drop members. Finna going down to hide. Agent Rogue taking out Dom as well. The payload is on the move once again, if only for a second. Bath's going to have to try and find some new place to defend, new choke points to be coming up on the second checkpoint.
They managed to push through quite successfully so far. They managed to catch out the Roadhog as well, so Cole will fall. Now pushing their way up towards the next checkpoint. Good choice there to back away from that Moira, but in comes the aggression once again from the side of Bath. They're pushing their way up. Will they be able to connect with anything? Reinhardt versus Reinhardt. One pushes away, but Earth Shatter comes in, but not able to connect with anyone just there. But the healing from Moira is just keeping everyone alive for Manchester. The Diva ult does come in, connects perfectly, and destroys all enemies in their way.
Manchester with a perfect combo play to break through. The checkpoint has been realized. We're now on to the last leg. Let's see how quickly Manchester can get this done. Certainly, Bath have managed to show some pretty good defensive plays so far, but they've only got a small amount of room to work with now.
Well, as they come up to the next choke point. It will be Bath who are looking to hold it down on the point itself. They cannot allow Manchester to get through for 4 minutes. It's a very long time, especially on this choke. We'll see how things go down. The team pushes up towards Manchester, but Bath just holding fast, keep them at bay, push them all the way back, and do a fantastic job so far. But if you look at this, Picks up high using the fire boost out of the way, uses the ulti, managed to pick up 1, 2, 3 will fall. Roadhog picks up the final kill onto that player up top. That was Pix, so that has opened the pathway for Manchester to push their way through. Nothing that can be done about this. Bath will concede very, very quickly.
Wow, that was amazing. Pix has been doing such great work. Last ditch defense coming in from Bath. They've got the respawn so close to the point. Contesting, of course, right up until the last second. Will Manchester be able to put it to bed as quickly as possible? Trying to drive down the time. Though, saying all this, Bath have brought back a couple more members, but surely they can't hold any longer.
Now they just have to dive onto the Roadhog right now. He has been pushed off the map, and that will be that. Round 1 complete in quite a convincing fashion from Manchester.
Really impressive stuff. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what other kind of combo plays we can get going from Manchester. I mean, each time we've seen those big ults come out, they've been incredibly impactful. Bath are going to need to do some real hard thinking about how to avoid that same sort of thing happening. Now they are on the offense.
Well, Bath have it all to do. They really have to do this in record time. They cannot really fault one single team fight if they were to take this away from them. Let's see how they're going to compose themselves going onto the attacking side of things. Well, if you look on the defense, it's pretty much exactly what you'd expect to see, but nothing surprising just yet. Maybe the use of the Zenyatta maybe is a bit interesting. Maybe something that is just a ruse for now.
They do love to tease us. Oh, they do. We'll see if we do get any different mix-ups this time round. Certainly, even the beefiness wasn't enough to stop that first push from really making an enormous impact. But we get to see what happens when we've got a team who've come out of that first assault so confident. I imagine they would be look to trying to hold on to that first checkpoint for as long as possible.
Absolutely, because if they can hold on to that, then obviously it whistles away at their time remaining to push their way through the choke points. But the use of the Junkrat on the opposition defense will be certainly vital in doing so.
Yeah, we'll see if if they stick to what we've got at the moment. It looks like we've got the double tank lineup, the Roadhog and the Reinhardt coming into making the front line. They're going to be looking out for a Hypnotic on that Reaper. They have to sneak in behind and try and disrupt as much as possible. Let's get things underway, and we'll see if Bath can make up for that first offensive push.
Well, the shots have been fired over the top from Agent Rogue, not able to connect just yet. Now will look to as he tries to take out the support players in Moira as they push their way through the small building on the right hand side of the screens. In comes the shots right far, but Fliner tries to push his way through with the Reinhardt and unable to connect with any opposition players, but they're in a very good position as it stands. Hyde picks up 1, Agent Rogue picks up the 2nd. They'll need to highlight the support player, which they do. Moira has fallen. That has shattered their first pick through onto the first point. And that's a very solid start coming in from Manchester.
The Bath Rubber Ducks in a whole world of trouble. Now Agent Rogue has got the Riptar ready to go. We've got the ults really building up dramatically. Bath not only losing out on that first offense, but so much ult charge for Manchester to prevent the second. We'll see how well they can play around it, because Hyde's got his ult charging as well. This could be even tougher than the first move.
Well, Hypnotic's actually switched away from the Reaper, opting to go for the Widowmaker instead now, so changing from close range combat to long, hoping that it will change their fortunes, but so far, not so good. Moira using her ult as Coalescence, trying to connect. Oh, the Earth Shatter comes in, that's 3 that will fall. Managed to pick up 1, that will be the Zarya that falls, but the trade does come in. Trade for trade as Pix is able to take down Fina as well. And now we see that up top Pix is doing some significant damage onto the side of Bath, just halting them from afar.
Yeah, we know that Pix has been absolutely vital for Manchester in the previous games. Able to just do so. I mean, last game round was able to just be flying around, dropping down rockets absolutely everywhere for an incredibly long time as Bath make their move in once more. Do actually manage to get onto the point this time for just a second, and here comes the party.
And here we go. We can hear the Riptide being used. It will pick up one that will be finally used and dropped. In comes Zarya and Reinhardt trying to defend off the opposition. That's a big use of the Graviton Surge that picks up 2 there, and Reinhardt swings his hammer around just to destroy. And there we go. Lovely stuff from a little Jamie. He's able to just deny Bath solo there.
Yet to take a single check off this point A. It's looking dire for Bath right now as time is ticking away. Only 1 minute 30 left for them to make an impact here. If it's ever going to be any time, it's going to be right now on this push.
I want to see how they're going. Still Hypnotic using the Widowmaker, trying to get those picks, but nothing spotted just yet. Not able to connect with anything. Looking to go round the side of the statue to try and get themselves a better angle to push their way through. In comes the Coalescence once again. Oh, Earth Shatter coming in from Finer. Been disrupted by the opposition's Earth Shatter of Hyde. That puts any sort of danger at a halt immediately. We'll see how Cole's going to use his Graviton Surge. Is able to pick down 2 with Farah combining up to take down 2 themselves.
Wow, what a combo play. There we go. Bath picking up some tricks from Manchester, for the line still holds just for a second, but on the, well, nearly the very last chance of Bath, they finally managed to break the line. That combo was beautiful. And Dom pouring out the damage, able to get it done when it counts.
Very good push from them. I think what was better about that time was that the composition worked well for them. They used the Graviton Surge coming in from Cole, combine that with Farah, and you've got an absolutely lethal combination. So I love that play coming in. I also think the use of the Mercy coming in later on was much better as well. Managed to come in and do a significant amount of healing onto Hypnotic as well as Dom and Cole. So we'll see how they go set up for this one, as it's a very passive defensive hold so far from Manchester in this choke point. Right the way around this second bend, which is not something you tend to see. You tend to see them holding on the first bend, especially with the Reinhardt at the helm.
Yeah, it's a lot of ground being given by Manchester, especially given that Bath able to pick off a lot. But the fight is going to break out around the payload. We have got Hyde holding for the time being, able to keep the payload at bay as it all start raining down Mercy from on high. Gonna keep Finna up and running, but Dom and Meskaman and Hypnotic all going down, but Bath are still going, at least for the moment.
Yeah, it was a huge pick from Pix actually. He takes down the Mercy player, but now they have the Moira to contest with Agent Rogue. Using the Junkrat is able to thwart that one, so now they have to back away. They cannot contest just yet. They have a minute 40 on the clock. That's still a lot of time to push through towards the next checkpoint. So you can see using the payload is just a matter of meters away. So if they can regroup and push their way back through, they should be perfectly fine. Hypnotic tries to get aggressive on the flank actually and tries to take out Hyde, but not able to do so as he switched across to the Winston instead. Something that is quite often used around these choke points, because when he gets into small spaces like that and he uses his ultimate, can cause so much damage.
Bath still gathering themselves, still doing the old poke game to try and get closed in. Agent Rogue will get taken out though. Respawn's going to mean it's going to take a little bit of time before Manchester can mount a full defense. Looks like they're still going to make do with what they've got for the time being, holding back, but the payload is moving once more. Bath are still alive. There we go. High Staff and Pix all taken out in quick succession.
Yeah, lovely stuff from Bath this time round, pushing their way through now. 40 seconds left on the clock. They'll take this checkpoint and Manchester will set up for the next. Will be Agent Rogue still using the Junkrat, might want to look towards getting a bit more of height advantage, because when it comes down to this, he's going to get outflanked rather easily from the Widowmaker, who can use the height to her advantage here, as well as the Farah if it's still being used, which I don't think it is actually. No, I believe it's not. Oh, it is, sorry, Dom's still using that. I'm sorry, didn't set that in the corner of my eye.
Well, Apples has got that Transcendence ready to go. Cole and Necroblade over for the side of Bath, though. The ult advantage, but the aggression coming out from Manchester, ramming themselves right down the throats of Bath, pushing them all the way back far beyond the payload. There's only 1 minute 27 left to get back in position. Manchester, aggressive defense.
Yeah, much more aggressive from them. I think this is the way that they should have played it as soon as the escort had began, really. But regardless, this is how they're going to set up now. Pix has switched across to the use of the Widowmaker. which would be rather useful, especially using this high ground as the advantage. If they can actually get a little bit of help out there, using some sort of shield, to be absolutely set for the rest of this. But in come back, looking for the push. In comes the Graviton Surge, managed to connect with 3. Are they able to connect with 2 others? No! Not able to do so. That's really quite unfortunate. Again, it seems as if there's not much communication going on board when they're using these sorts of ultimates, because that really depends on communication to really forward their push.
Fana able to block out most of that self-destruct, but nonetheless manages to do eventually drive off despite coming into that fight with a pretty serious ult disadvantage. Now only 30 seconds left. Bath need to get back on this payload. They need it right now, and they are going to have to hoof it all the way to there. No time to waste.
Now, there's not much time at all. With 15 seconds remain. Use of the ultimate coming from Pix, so they're able to see exactly where they'll be pushing from. Manchester now looking to hold fast. Winston comes in. Earthshatter's come in from Finer. He's able to connect and do a bit of damage towards the Diva, but not enough to hold them back. Shots have been fired. Bodies will fall. While Apples picks up 2. The Widowmakers alternate each other with picks for themselves, but it's coming down to Hypnotic and picks for the Widowmaker, trying to battle it out on top. Whilst on board on the payload, it's Cole trying to do as much as possible using the Roadhog versus the Winston, who's going to possibly win out on this one with the amount of support he has.
Necroblade's ult coming out is going to be a difference maker, but Little Jamie will take out Mesco Man with that self-destruct coming through once again. Wow, Apples getting out Cole. Little Jamie taking out Finer. It's only the remnants of Bath left to contest this. If they go down here, they are done. But that will be it. Manchester successfully defend.
And very well as well, to be fair. When it came down to that last choke, it looks like there was a moment where Bath could push their way through, but they didn't allow the ultimates to come into full fruition. So, unfortunately, they will fall short of just game 1.
Let's take a look at what Hypnotic was doing this game, which was honestly some absolutely amazing stuff. We can see the positioning, which is pitch perfect every single time. Still, that was a lot of fun from the first game. Again, we apologize for not bringing you our schedule game. We will see what we can do about that in the future. But what we have got coming up on our other 2 schedule games are... Okay, we're going to be... Apparently we've had a bit of change of plan. We're just going to be watching the UOM guys for the time being. So please do stay tuned, and we'll be back with the next game as soon as we've got it.
Floating 6 feet underwater, the stars shine up from far away. The stars shine up from far away. Let's
Alright guys, welcome back to the NUEL National Championships. We are actually in a best of 3 between Manchester and Bath. So Bath get a chance at finding redemption on our second go round. Chris, what did you make of that first encounter between the two?
A massacre from Manchester. Absolutely massacred the opposition of Bath. It was quite something else to begin with on the attacking side of things, and then held fast on the defensive too. For me, Manchester let off a little bit too much when the first escort came in towards the first checkpoint, but they certainly made up for it on the second, holding that first choke point to perfection.
Alright, well, Bath gonna need to find a way to win out on Eldorado. We'll have a check in and see in a minute what kind of defense is going to come in from their side. It looks like we're going to be seeing Orisa coming out for the first time in this particular mini-series between the two. We'll see how well those static defenses hold up against Manchester's aggression.
Exactly that. Looking across towards the attacking side and seeing how they're fixing up Dom, using the Junkrat, which tends to be used quite often, especially up high on the walkway, especially where his teammates are actually. So good choice and the composition so far. Moira once again being used on the attacking side of things, but defensively, Mercy will be opted for the support. And we can have a look and see, yeah, Zenyatta also decided to go with. So let's see how the composition starts up. The first point will always be a little bit the easiest as they look to go around the first corner and then meet a flurry of bullets heading their way.
Bath dropping down the damage, but for the moment, as disrupting comes through, Hyde going up high is going to try buy as much time as possible. The payload passing underneath again. Hyde going up, nearly gets the payload through the archway and onto the second section. I think it's just about going to manage it. No, in fact, we're seeing Bath coming in, going full aggression, trying to buy themselves a few extra moments.
Let's see how they're going to do. Finest caught on his own as Orisa will fall short, and again the push comes through from the side of Manchester, doing such a fantastic job of getting through that first choke, because it can be very tough for some to push their way through, but they've made it look easy. Will Bath just give up the first checkpoint, or will they decide to try and push off? Looks like they've given up the first checkpoint and try to hold off Manchester at the next.
It was a very impressive offense to start things out. Manchester also picking up a huge amount of ult charge as well. Stav almost ready to go. Necroblade over for the Rubber Ducks from Bath, able to at least respond when the time comes.
We'll see how things work as Pix using the Farah is connecting with a lot of shots right now, causing a mass amount of damage onto the opposition. See how well Bath will retaliate against this one, but as it stands, it's not doing too well. The Coalescence does come in from Necroblade, is able to keep his team alive for now and not doing too much damage with it, though. The Rage Art has come in now from Hyde, manages to connect and swing the almighty Gorilla around, and there comes the ulti from the D.Va. Managed to connect and take down 3. That is huge from them to push their way forward towards the second checkpoint, basically uncontested. It's like a walk in the park for Manchester.
Well, we expected Manchester to do well based off their Game 1 performance, and they're absolutely not disappointing. Bath still putting their all into the defensive side of things, but they're getting cut down at the gates to the second checkpoint. I think it could be a very short defense here. Pix, of course, up high, going to be enhanced by Stav to pump for as much damage as possible. Respawns are coming in for Bath, but only doing enough to just harass around Manchester. Not going to be able to stop the push.
Not at all. They have no hope when it comes to this. This is such a well-constructed push every single time coming in from Manchester. We'll go into the final checkpoint now. This is one of the most tougher ones because of how close to the spawn that the side of Bath will be. However, they are looking to push their way up towards the first choke now. How will Bath defend this one? They've popped out the Orisa shield, but a mass amount of damage conflicted onto that one will now push them back just a little bit further, and they'll look to get very much aggressive onto the side of Bath now. Manchester looking to push their way through. I'll see how the D.Va will push her way through, but Agent Rogue actually has the ultimate at hand, so if they can get rid of that Orisa shield, that will be huge. And here comes the ultimate now. Managed to connect with a few, managed to take down the opposition Soldier 76, but combining with Pix, they are able to take down 2 players from the side of Bath.
That's a heartbreaker for Bath. They have multiple ultimates ready, but they didn't get to use them. Hypnotic and Finn are both ready and able to go, but the first one's taken out. I think Manchester are going to be able to get to the payload onto the point without even a response from Bath. That's a very swift first round.
I think that's probably the quickest Dorado I've ever seen.
Me as well.
That was incredible.
I was fully expecting Hypnotic to be able to come out, drop out the Dreadeye, show at least, be able to shove back, because you're right, that should have been the point, if anywhere, that Bath were going to manage to turn things around, but now they've got the most ludicrously impossible task of trying to top what Manchester just showed us.
Well, I have faith in my Southwestern friends. I do, I know I don't. I'm sorry, I can't even lie. This is looking like bad news for them. They've got just a mountain to climb here. Really is going to be difficult to break their way through. The cohesiveness from the side of Manchester just seems to just know out anything that Bath can throw at them. So we'll see. On the attacking side of things, how it will shape up. Agent Rogue obviously was going to use that Junkrat. We'll see how on the defensive side of things they'll opt to go with it. I reckon I'll see a Moira being used, but other than that, it could be basically anyone's game.
All right, we'll see. I mean, certainly Bath are going to be throwing the kitchen sink at Manchester. I love the offense last time from Manchester. High just being able to get up to be so disruptive, completely throw Bath's game plan off of trying to defend from the high ground by just being so disruptive. Whether we will see anything like that from Bath, I maybe hope so, just because anything more considered it would just take too long.
No, absolutely. I'd love to see Bath come out and just rampage straight the way through them as if they were like a hot knife through butter. But let's be serious here. That is a huge ask from Bath, especially the way that they played the last round on King's Row. I just don't see it.
Looks like slow and steady will be the choice from Bath. Bring out the Reinhardt, but presumably going to look to try and stick on that payload for as long as possible and just crunch it all the way up through Dorado. Win this out the hard way. It's going to be extremely tough.
Look at this from Dom. The flank. He's caught the opposition unaware. He's going to push up now and try and catch them off guard. He attacks Agent Rogue with his Reapers and is able to connect with a few shots and take him down. Trying to pick up Stav now, but not able to get the kill in the end. Will finally get taken down by Agent Rogue though, and that will halt that sneaky little Badger attack.
Yeah, well, we needed to see something special from Bath. We needed them to bring out something in their bag of tricks if they were going to try and equal what Manchester have just shown us. And yeah, absolutely try every single kind of cheesy tactic you can go for, because this best of three is hanging in the balance for Bath here. They need to win this one out. Manchester can afford to give across a couple of rounds and still be able to keep going forward. We'll see what happens, but for the moment, that first defense has been blunted.
Yeah, they were completely denied as soon as they tried to push up through that first choke, but maybe second time lucky. You can see Dom up on the shelf waiting to drop down and cause some havoc. Still 50% away from using his ulti, so once he gets that will be significantly huge, especially from that sort of angle. But as his teammates look to try and push their way through, look like they're just getting denied once again, waiting for each other to spawn in and push up to a position where they can start to push as a unit once again. And in comes the second team fight of the game. Cole takes a bit of damage there. Reinhardt trying to do his absolute best on the payload itself, but taking a significant amount of damage and will fall in the end. Again, Agent Rogue being an absolute nuisance with Junkrat.
Yeah, the pouring out of damage, the front line from Bath evaporating too much perhaps to put on Finer. And even with the massive amount of ults they came into that last fight with, not able to move the payload barely, no, really at all. That's got to be heartbreaking. Bath, again, down to that 1 minute 30 mark. We know that this is the break or break time. Can they find a way to get through? They're still keeping Dom on that Reaper. They still think they've got a way to penetrate the defense of Manchester.
Well, they would have done, except he used his ultimate as he died. Basically, he wasted it. He was caught on his own tried to go for a hero play and was completely denied. And he's going to get denied now with the hook from Hyde, connecting with absolute perfection. In comes Agent Rogue now using his ultimate of the Riptire, managed to take down Hypnotic from out the back, but really you'd like to see that used on the support players just to deny any sort of healing. But as it stands, it doesn't really matter. Manchester are in full control.
Necroblade is, at least for the side of Bath, relatively close to getting up that ult one more time. One last push, 38 seconds left. Bath at least did manage to lose out the last time without losing too many. Stab actually going to go down from the Manchester side. Could this be the push that Bath were looking for? They've got the payload on the move again.
Well, let's see what they're able to do. Not able to connect this time round. Actually, Hypnotic takes down a little Jamie, so that's one of the tanks out of the way. But Fina leading the charge, spearheading it. Dom trying to get a more aggressive, trying to catch the opposition off charge. And then comes the team fight once again. Shots have been fired. Agent Rogue gets caught unaware from Hypnotic, so great shots coming in from him. They're just holding off. That's all they need to do. Hyde just needs to stay alive, wait for the opposition to come to him, and then gets the kill. The Zenyatta pops his ultimate just to keep his teammates in the fight, and I think that's really going to be it. There's no way back for them, surely, at this point.
The Transcendence beautifully timed to block out that Earth Shatter. Bath holding on by their fingertips. They've only got a few members left up in. Finna does at least take out Wild Apples, but starting to disintegrate under the hail of fire. Though I'm saying this, Dom does take out Stab, and Hyde goes down as well. Could Bath have somehow stayed alive?
Well, that's what I was thinking then, but Pix just managed to dive in and save Agent Rogue as he tries to defend all on his own. Now in comes a little Jamie with the Orisa. The tank is all they needed to hold back the attack, because now they're able to just hold off any more sort of damage. But Fina comes in with a long range, destroys little Jamie in his pace. But he managed to stay alive, and now in comes the team once again from the side of Manchester. They've done enough to hold back as much as physically possible. They are doing so much defensive work right now.
Transcendent comes out one more time. Bath desperately holding on, trying to be pushed away with the Maywall from the payload. It's so close. The overtime ticker is just begging to drop down, but Bath just keeps staying alive. I think it may just be a little bit too late. Only 2 members left on the payload. Necroblade locked in place. I think Manchester done it. No, coming back in again. Bath will not let up. They will not give up. They are still pouring everything they have onto the point.
Yeah, it was Necroblade who did a fantastic job with the Lucio just to keep anyone in his near vicinity alive. But in comes Dom. He able to use his ulti, but does get denied from Hyde using the Roadhog. And that will be that. The Roadhog and his hooks have been fantastic.
That was honestly an amazing best of 3. Really well done. Of course, the Lucios from the University of Manchester will be the ones who win out ultimately, but still, Bath got really show what they were capable of right at the end there.
Oh, absolutely. It's a shame it was just a little too late, because if they had a little bit more time, they would have certainly pushed their way through. But regardless, Manchester will take the first best of 3, and we'll see how Bath will come back swinging in the second.
Alright guys, we will be heading ourselves to a small break. We are going to be bringing you another best of 3 after this, so please do stay tuned. It will be to be confirmed as to who it's going to be. But either way, do stay tuned. Lots more Overwatch coming up soon.
Miles of fire, I'm losing ground, and in the flashing, my world comes crashing down. I'm left in nowhere, no place to hide, out in the open, like ashes in top. I'm still, but I can't stop. Can't see a net, what if I fall? Without a net, where do I fall? High in the spotlight, can't fly, afraid of heights. Can't see the end, what if I choke? There is no end, I'm gonna choke. There's no way out of this circus. We paint on smells so they can't hurt us. Cage with the lions now, begging for silence now. Trying to escape, there is no way out of this circus.
All right, guys, welcome back to week number 3 of the NUEL National Championships. It's all about the springtime. It's all about this third week of Swiss competition as we're heading next into a best of 3 between the Cambridge Cavalry and Underwatch from York.
Yeah, it's going to be a interesting matchup. I mean, I was keeping an eye on the chat whilst we were having that quick little break, and we can kind of see a little bit of smack talk and a bit of BMing going on already, which is quite interesting. A lot of people are favouring York to take this over Cambridge, and quite convincingly by the looks of it.
Well, I mean, last week we had the 20-minute long classic between York's second team, the Cavalry's Beer, and Warwick's Zlinda team, which you can read about on the NUEL blog. Absolutely amazing game. I can only hope that Underwatch, who come into this as, I believe, the only remaining undefeated team with 7 straight wins, going up against Cambridge Cavalry with just a mere 6. Should be a hell of a game and a chance for a team to try and approach Underwatch's level of success.
Well, we'll certainly find out soon enough. Now, we kind of know what we're up against with the bans and picks already being put in place, and I believe we've got King's Row, we've got Lijiang Tower, and I think it's Route 66 as well.
Yes, I think we'll be starting off on a Route 66, heading to the Lijiang Tower for the second game, and just returning back to the NUEL favourite King's Row if we do get all the way through to a game 3, which I hope that we do. Because it should be an extremely even game. As the weeks go by, these teams will get closer and closer matched, so we should have incredibly competitive games starting with this one.
Exactly. I'm hoping to see a slightly more heavily contested match than we saw previously, because, I mean, let's face it, Manchester kind of blew out Bath in both of those maps, so hopefully Cambridge and York can put on a real show for us.
For any of you guys who are just tuning in, who haven't been following the National Championships so far, as I said before, we're in week 3 of Swiss. Once we get past the next week of Swiss, we'll be heading into the playoff stages, which starts on the 15th, and the semi-finals on the 22nd of this month, before we get all prepped up and ready for NUEL Live, which is as yet to be fully announced when it's going to be, but it's going to be amazing with all the games live on show. The top level competition from all the best teams.
Exactly. I'm really looking forward to NUEL Live. It's going to be fantastic, but it doesn't matter because we're getting into week number 3, 4. I can't remember what week it is. It is week 3. I don't know which way is up.
It's the snow blindness. It's a snow blindness. It makes you forget what country you're even in anymore.
Absolutely. I could just peer out of my window right now, and it is coming down very heavily. I think it is probably a couple of inches deep right now, which is saying something.
All right.
Wait.
Let's dig in deep for our first game between Cambridge and York. So, as we said before, Underwatch coming in as a completely undefeated team so far. Certainly going to be the favourites in this, starting out on the red. But hey, Cambridge only have lost a single time so far, so of any of the teams right now, they're the best position to go for the upset.
Exactly that. Will be the side of York attacking first, so we'll see how far they can push this payload along the treacherous path of Route 66.
Oh, I think one of the players... Yes, it looks like one of the Cambridge players has had a little bit of a hiccup, but... All right, Chris, if we're going to be incredibly premature here with our evaluations, we've at least got an idea of what some of these guys are going to be bringing out here. I mean, assuming at least that York are more likely to be the ones sticking to their picks, we're getting to see a little bit more of the Winston coming out, which was so effective last time round for the Lucios, and some Widowmaker as well.
Yeah, I mean, the use of Widow on this sort of map itself is really quite useful, especially because there's so many long lines of sight. I do like the use of Winston as well, because he really can cause some serious damage when you get around to the first and second choke points. But you kind of expect to see a Reinhardt mainly, which, interestingly enough, they've actually gone for on the defensive side of things, but not the attacking unless they decide to switch things up last second, which they always do to me.
Well, I mean, that's certainly York's prerogative right now, able to switch things up, keep us guessing up until the last second. The defenses of Cambridge actually being set up pretty far back. It looks like they're actually going to concede that first point with the payload. Going to be able to get some decent distance before it runs into real resistance. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I think Chris is having a little bit of a problem with his internet connection, so hopefully that will be resolved shortly as the first push is going to come in from York, managing to overwhelm the Cambridge defenses for the time being. That payload making it all the way up to nearly that first checkpoint before it runs into that Sky Axe, able to re-establish defenses for Cambridge. Chris, like, I guess just let me know anytime, and we'll have to see if that's any better. Okay, it's still not so good. Cambridge actually retreating back to the incredibly defensive inner tunnels there to try and make their stand. Again, conceding so much ground over to York here. But no, well, wait a second. Cambridge actually, they've got a surprise in store, roaming right out of the left-hand side and into the lines of York. They gave up a lot, but maybe they're going to try and buy it back with interest. Town Neutrino is getting a lot of work done on that soldier, but Cambridge, I think, might just be about to run into too much trouble to handle. York have got the numbers advantage for just a second. We've got the ult coming in. Is it going to land? It will take out Mocha, but it's looking like York are going to be still able to swarm that point and get those final few kills through. Nice attempt from Cambridge. If anything, I haven't seen a team try and do that before. They lure York into maybe a false sense of security by giving up such a large amount of ground before coming back with a massive offensive move. I don't know, it's a huge gamble that didn't really pay off super well for Cambridge this time round.
Well, it was interesting. Really, you kind of expect them to be able to like stand on top of that building and really maintain quite a mass amount of coverage. However, it didn't really kind of work out well for them. It worked out well for like the first minute and a half, but then they came back swinging and managed to retake and now push their way through. And again, they're getting really quite aggressive, pushing on quite far ahead of the payload, and are now able to attack straight onto the opposition.
Skyaxe going in with the Earth Shatter, though, is going to be able to try and buy some room for Cambridge to operate from. They've got the damage coming in from the outside, the Mercy healing up as well. Still, York are making progress, pushing further past Mocha. Again, aggressively defending, but can only stay for so long.
Yeah, well resid there from Zeox as well, as they're able to keep up the Reinhardt and now hold them at bay. Well played so far from Cambridge defensively, but really, York are just letting them get away with murder.
Town Neutrino does have the ult up and ready to go, trying to make that defense. If possible, I think actually he's going to hold off on it. Yes, we'll get taken down. I think realizing that the chance of stopping York at this particular juncture is relatively minimal.
Yeah, there was no way they were going to get through. As soon as the two support players had fallen, that was it. They're going to have to give up this checkpoint and see what they can do. Hold them off on the next as we go into the third and final push now. The positions are very much set in stone, and we'll see how they will push their way through. Only one ultimate available for the side of Cambridge. York, however, have two, one being the Rage coming in from the side of Durf.
I mean, the Primal Rage combined with the Transcendence is going to make this push from York almost impossible to deny, but Cambridge seems to be more than up for the challenge as they go in swinging. G-Moon going down low, but will get healed up at the last second. Tantala on the backside, still going down low. We've got the ultimate for Mocha coming out, and it's not going to get too much of anything coming through. Town Neutrino does at least manage to take down one, and Mocha finishes off the job with a couple more.
Yeah, fantastic use there. Unfortunately, not able to actually do much damage with ultimates on either side of things, and now he has to back away. Durf has got too aggressive there, wants to try and support his teammates as they look to go through this side passage, but 3 players make that 4 all the way through. Reinhardt managed to pick up 2, using Earthshatter to full effect to shut down any progression of that Tracer, which is fantastic. Now looking to defend once again with 3 minutes still left on the clock. However, York would want to push their way through as soon as possible.
I'm really impressed by what we saw from Cambridge just then. They looked like a team who had given up too much ground to really stand anymore, but able to surprise us. This time around, we have got the Coalescence ready for Z-Fox if necessary. As York come in, they've got that Primal Rage ready to go. We've got Zizek as well, who's going to be able to drop down the Pulse Bomb. And the push is driving Cambridge back.
Exactly that. York pushed up significantly higher than they expected them to do so and have caught them off guard. Both supports have now used their ultimates, so they've got nothing at hand. However, Twentrino there very close to having his ultimate at hand, but will fall short. 3 players remaining, and this is going to be a fantastic aggressive push coming in from the side of York. They could see this one out very, very shortly if they can just hold them back in their spawns. It will be this Genji that will be doing the most damage, just holding them back where they are. And now in comes the dive from the use of the from Durf, sorry, as the Winston really catching the opposition off.
G-Moon's gonna go for the boom. Doesn't manage to land, but maybe the response will. Zreek able to take out 2 members of Cambridge, who of course are respawning in very quickly, able to get back on top of that payload just before it gets to the point, but still Cambridge coming in and dying in quick order. Coalescence going to be coming out there as a bit of a desperation play from Cambridge to try and stay alive. Tantalus, the only one left standing, and I think York may well have done it.
Yeah, they've seen this one out. Fantastic push come the end there, and really that one really came down to the use of their ultimates and on the supports as well. Lucio being a key factor in that, keeping his teammates alive when it came down to those such close quarter team fights.
Oh, I mean, those sound barriers were just insanely good. So hard to deal with. But do bear in mind, we've got quite a series for York and Cambridge to take on. This is only the first game that we're getting into the second round of. Once this is done, if York do manage to do well a second time round, they'll then have to do it in another series. So we'll get a very definitive winner here and a real chance for Cambridge to come back.
Well, so far, Cambridge will have their work cut out. York putting in a very good performance there. However, I think looking at that from Cambridge, they can certainly give it to York, provided that their composition and their coordination and even their communication is on point.
Alright, Cambridge going to be taking the offensive side of things. Last time round, this first part of Route 66 being characterized by a risky play from Cambridge to give up a lot of ground to set up an ambush for York. It sort of works, but I don't know if it really justified, you know, trading away so much to gamble on a big turnaround play.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of asking a lot there, but I really do like this setup coming in from Cambridge. It's one that I tend to see, especially on escorts. Well, early days of Overwatch was the use of a shield coming in from Mokia, and then having the Bastion sit on top. Oh, they've changed it up, which completely knows my entire point. Ignore me. I'm never going to talk about anything ever again.
Well, a bold decision there made by Chris. We'll see how well York can hold the defense. Actually going for a proactive defense, sending the Tracer into the back lines to see how well Cambridge can deal with being attacked from multiple angles. It's so far they've been able to keep moving, and they are going to run into the second line of York defense.
Yeah, it looks like the tank's trying to be on the flank here and waiting for them to push through the first choke, and Soldier 76 being an absolute nuisance up top. In comes the Winston, dive bombing the top there, trying to get more control, but has to back away as the opposition Winston is on the hunt.
Shades of the Lucio's very aggressive Winston play. Skyax still staying standing though. Cambridge, though, with Town Neutrino being taken out of the mix, and Mocha also in a little bit of trouble. It looks like this first offensive push has been blunted for the moment, which is more what we would expect from Route 66 rather than the push through that York got last time.
Exactly that. York doing very well so far defensively. From Cambridge looking to push through for a second team fight, hoping to push on a little further. Sombra picks up one. Soldier 76 takes down the opposition Soldier 76.
Ooh.
Tantalus fights back himself. In comes a kill from Lucio, which is quite rare these days. But Diva also picking up one for herself. And that again really puts Cambridge back onto the back foot with 2.5 minutes. Really strong stuff coming in from York.
Well, at least for Cambridge, they have got the Valkyrie ready from the Fox. And Town Neutrino is going to have the ult to drop down the serious amount of damage. Durf 2000 nearly went down the last fight. Cambridge going in with a huge push right up onto the rooftops, pouring in the damage.
Yeah, and it's Winston on Winston action there, but however, either one come out on top. The ultimate has come down from the Diva. Oh, narrowly missing Winston as he managed to jump out of the way using his primal rage now, trying to cause some disruption in the back lines, but he will end up falling. That's Lucio that takes down a tank. Rather impressive, but I think the amount of damage that was put onto him from the ultimate of Diva really put him in a risky position. And again, the other ultimate comes in. Oh, I love the use of the shield there just to thwart any explosion from them.
Very, very smart play. Dev 2000 still providing disruption, will finally fall down. Cambridge managing to put the ape to bed for just a few seconds that they'll need to get onto this first point. I think all said and done, there was no way they were ever going to better York, at least in this one push, but everything being said, it wasn't too bad from Cambridge either.
No, I mean, it certainly could have gone better, but it certainly also could have gone a lot worse. I think Farah and Tantalus is causing some serious damage up high, and I think they really need to pick a champion who's going to be able to take her down. I mean, they've got Soldier 76 with JK Lol, but I don't think it's going to be enough for just him to do all the damage.
York again going for this multifaceted defense, as once more we've got Durf 2000 jumping right into the heart of trouble, able to take Tantalus going down actually to Durf of all people, and Zitek able to get another kill as well. Suddenly, just like that, Cambridge, who had been looking very strong, going to be rejected straight out of the first checkpoint.
Yeah, it's more like they walked into that one and then walked straight back out going, nope, don't want any of this one. As soon as Durf dived in onto Tantalus, I mean, they just didn't want any of that at all. So we'll see how it goes out now. He's actually switched up across to the Widow, so interesting to see how he's going to be able to pick off the opposition from this sort of range with the mobility in sights as well. Shots have come in from Torntrino, not able to really connect with any opposition players. JK Low though is able to pick up one with his bionic grenade, and in comes the attack once again. Ultimate from Diva, not going to be able to connect with anyone as they're all hidden away.
Very smart play from Cambridge to fall back for just a second to buy themselves so many more seconds. Neutrino going to be chased down the back by Durf 2000, still being an absolute nuisance on this Winston. So disruptive, so difficult to deal with. Cambridge trying to coalesce, going to be knocked away so often though by that primal rage, those big monkey paws getting the action done. Self-destruct coming in, not going to get too much, but Orlux gets the double.
Well played. I mean, I don't like the use of the ult coming in from Mokia. It was well wasted. There was no point in that one at all. It looked like it was just a last grasp at a kill onto the Winston. But regardless, that does put Cambridge in a good position to now push this payload on just a little bit further. But there is one player trying to pull that. I think that's Z7K actually on the flank, trying to pick them up. And as it looks like they're actually going to just dive on and not give them up on this point. They want to try and stop them as much as possible. 1 minute 15 left on the clock, and in come York, trying to do as much as possible. But look at that, that's basically a team wipe coming in from Cambridge to thwart the defense.
Yeah, taking a page out of Cambridge's strategy book just before the checkpoint is reached. Send absolutely everything at the opposing team. I think that could have been a mistake though, as now Cambridge have got a chance to make the push in. Last time round, this was the place that Cambridge were able to put a stop to York's offensive for the first time in the entire match. But this time round, Cambridge are going to get to go in and establish themselves, while York have to go in for an aggressive move once again.
Yeah, I'm a little bit intrigued by that choice to actually use both support ultimates in that team fight, because they didn't come out the top of either as well. They've actually managed to have 3 players fallen rather quickly, and in come Cambridge, they are really putting York on the back foot on the defensive side of things. They've wasted 2 support ultimates now. They have 2 ults up, but that's Diva with her self-destruct, which can be great, but Tantalus, I don't know about that one. That's not going to be helpful in these sorts of situations.
Well, I'm really impressed by what we're seeing from Cambridge here. York, yeah, just decided to throw everything at Cambridge, and Cambridge able to absorb and turn it around. Ult is going to come down. It's going to be blocked out by the Reinhardt shield. As the fighting, we see the trail across town. Neutrino will go down. Mocha going to be knocked out of the mech. Zifox as well. Cambridge going to be rejected this time with just over a minute left to play.
I mean, it looked as if they were going to push straight away onto the point then as well, but well held defensively from York, clutching at straws. Now it's not as easy a ride as those of you in the Twitch chat thought it was going to be. Cambridge are really giving it to York at the minute. They have a minute to make it happen. Oh, say that, it's actually 40 seconds, and in comes what could possibly be the final team fight. Reinhardt at the helm, trying to cause some disruption and lead the charge, but the opposition Reinhardt doing exactly the same. The hooks are trying to be connected now from Durf, but he's not able to do anything with them. The Reinhardt actually has used his Earth Shatter connected to take down the opposition. They've got no tank to help them push forward. We'll see how this one works out, because now JK Low has picked up one, Z7K picks up another, but Mokia answers right back with a kill of his own.
The Coalescence just going to clear out the remnants of the Cambridge offense, and just as you said, I think that was going to be the last chance, unless Cambridge pull off something crazy. We are into overtime as Cambridge throw everything at York just to stay in this. They're desperately trying to get a player over there, but no Sky Axe was moments too late. Multiple Cambridge members land, but Underwatch take the first game.
And that was a lot closer than a lot of people expected, myself included. I was going off the Twitch chat as to how they thought it was going to pan out, and yeah, they couldn't have been, well, they were right in essence, but with how close it was going to be, they were completely wrong. Cambridge showing why they are currently 6-0, possibly though about to get the first loss, second loss, sorry.
Well, we'll see. We've got at least one more meeting between these two teams to get set up for, so we'll head ourselves to a very, very small break. This is a best of 3 series. That's only game 1 done, so please do stay tuned. Cavalry against the Underwatch coming back in just a few moments. All right, guys, welcome back once again to week number 3 of our spring season for the NUEL. What a first game of this best of 3 between the Cambridge Cavalry and Underwatch from York. Chris, I honestly thought Cambridge were going to manage it just at the end there.
You are not the only one. It all came down to that last team fight where they just couldn't edge their way through. It was so disheartening, but at the same point so exhilarating, because that ending was fantastic.
All right, we're all done with Route 66 for now. Now we're heading it to the Lijiang Tower for, I think it's been a while since this has been played on the NUEL stream. For any of you guys who are just dropping by for the first time, NUEL is an organization which consisting entirely of student players playing from universities all over the UK. This time, Cambridge and York going head to head. York swapping over to the blue. Now Cambridge on the red. York with one best of 3, one game in hand. Cambridge will need to win out here, or they are done.
Well, and it all remains to be seen how it will pan out. Now, I cannot call a winner at all on this one. I thought I could the first time round, but Cambridge really showed what they are made of, and well, this being a different game mode could certainly pan out to their favour instead.
Yeah, we've seen how both teams have gone for this really hyper-aggressive last-second push. Certainly control points can allow for both teams to do that in one game. So it should be a whole lot of fun as we get started. Second game between York and Cambridge now underway.
It's interesting to see the compositions on either side as well. If you have a look on the side of York, they've gone for a Lucio and Moira sort of support, whilst on the opposition side they've gone for a Mercy and Moira composition. So it's interesting to see which one's going to come out on top. For me, I think the composition of York would slightly do better just because of the radius of the heal coming on from Lucio. And as it stands, York are in the driving seat, having got the point locked out for themselves.
Yeah, not even taking too much damage at all, either doing it. We have got to push in to try and deny, but Tantalus will go down Zifox as well. York putting on a sterling defense, going to start racking up those percentage points, actually going aggressive, not going to sit idle, taking the fight right to Cambridge.
This is a bold move as well. I'd like to see them sit back just a little bit, not push up any further than they need to. If they do, they can certainly get caught out on the flank from up high, where they're looking up towards now, or even down low. So, yep, much better from them now, pushing much further back into the point. Maybe not so far passively into the hill. Maybe push out a little bit further into the garden out front. You know, each to their own, I suppose.
The Tantalus is raining down fire, enhanced by the Mercy from above, as Cambridge try and break in through the front door. Huge amount of shields for York, keeping them standing, but Zreek will fall down. The captain of York taken out of commission, and Z7K, I don't even know how to say that one, taken down very low. Durf 2000 will get taken out of the mech as well. York look like they could be in a little bit of trouble here.
Exactly that. A good composition from them pushing their way through, but in comes the Riptire, which will do no damage at all, but the Graviton Surge coming in as well, combining it with the ultimate from the Diva will cause absolute damages as Tantalus gets 3 kills with Farah, and now it will be Cambridge to take up the point and try to rack up some points for themselves.
Really nicely done. Beautifully placed Tantalus there to be able to just rip through the back of York, tear the spine out of their defense, and leave themselves in a pretty good position to get involved in this next huge fight.
Yeah, in comes the Diva. Oh, it's not going to connect with anyone, unfortunately, but let's see how they're going to answer back. Tantalus again is doing a fantastic job of just destroying the opposition from up high using that Farah. It's going to be really interesting to see how he's going to progress through this one and how York will combat that one. They'll have to switch across to someone who's going to be able to pick him out of the side.
Duff, in the last game, Duff was immensely influential on that Winston, able to provide disruption and just throwing Cambridge off the game entirely. This time round on the Diva, much less of an impact. York now actually being pushed back fairly effectively. York has still got a lot of time to work with as the fight breaks out again.
Yeah, Derp actually trying to get aggressive once again, trying to take down Tantalus from outside. Not able to do so though. Will have all of the opposition of Cambridge just collapse upon him and will shut him down. Defensively, this is sublime coming in from Cambridge. Really like the way they're holding the opposition back and now have taken the lead.
No, I'm really impressed, especially considering how much ground York were able to get in the early going of this first point. But we've got York coming out once again, charging through and trying to make it stick this time.
Yeah, the Graviton Surge comes in, the Diva ult at the same point, not able to connect. In comes a Rapture, but nothing again is really happening. All is going on inside the point. No shots being fired left, right, and center. Anyone able to fall? Tantalus takes down one, Molkia takes down another, but 3 players still remain. Massive point kills coming in from the Zarya as well, and again, Cambridge will thwart the oncoming attack. Well held defensively, and they will take map number 1.
Wow, okay. Well, we've got maybe the makings of a bit of a surprise upset here. Cambridge have now managed to do it for the first time. To see the Underwatch from York fall down, maybe, just maybe, Cambridge can do it again and bring this best of 3 to 1-1.
Well, if they continue to play like that, I certainly think that they will. It's fantastic to see Cambridge coming out swinging, especially going down from 72 to 0 and then pulling it all the way back to secure it all in one foul swoop.
This time round, Durf 2000 is going to be back on that Winston. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more success. Has got those confined quarters to work with on this particular part of Lijiang Tower. Of course, now Cambridge have got a little bit of breathing space to work with. We'll see what they can do with it if they can lock this down 2-0.
Well, as it stands, it's going to be York diving into the point to begin things, but I mean, there's 15 seconds until it unlocks, so it's basically just wasted effort. They want to just try and cement their position on board. You can see JK Low was actually switched across to use the Farah because it was causing so much damage early on for the in the last map. So you can see as well that the shots have been fired at Tantalus, and Twantrino is able to actually take down most of the opposition alone, and now it'll be Cambridge who will able to lock down the initial points for this hill.
That's a really nice advantage as well for Cambridge to not only start getting those early points, but to definitively win that first fight against York. To be able to swing the momentum back this way, hugely important for them. York coming out swinging once more though. We'll see how many percentage points Cambridge can lock away before the inevitable York counterattack really gets dug in.
You can see Zreek using the Mercy, trying to keep the Farah alive, but in comes the dive. They're trying to push their way further and further into the point. 3 players inside of the hill at this minute in time, but it's being heavily contested. Twantrino using the Tracer. Tantalus picks up 2, and JK Low is able to pick out one of the support players, but Tantalus again, it's a 3rd kill in this team fight, is able to just clean up shop, and Cambridge again, solid stuff from them, using 3 or 4 of their ults to success.
Really, really impressive stuff from Cambridge. Of course, we have got multiple ults ready on the side of York. Now, actually 4-1 on the ult count. I think this is going to be a very tough push for Cambridge to stand against.
Yeah, they've just pushed all the way in now, using up 2 made that 3 of their ults. I think Zreek actually might have misclicked as he actually used it and didn't heal up anyone with that one, but it has worked out into their favor as they're now able to hop into the hill with 3 of the opposition players there to contest. One will fall, that will be Aerox, who's able to take down 1, but again, it's just really heavily contested. It's doing very, very well from Cambridge just to hold on.
Yeah, able to keep ticking up that point while the point is contested, getting up to nearly 100%, and also buying enough time for the other Cambridge members to respawn in. Ult still in the favor of York. I'm surely York are going to win out this fight, but Cambridge are making them pay for this capture with every inch. So much blood being taken.
So much. I mean, that was so heavily contested for so long that Cambridge had to back out of that one because they had so many players full, and whilst they went down to 2 players, they thought to themselves, right, let's get back, let's regroup, let's push again, because we're up to 99% now. If we take this point again, that is GG in the chat, but In comes the contestant. Two of the tank players pushing their way through, Winston being one of them. It will be between Trino to get one kill onto the opposition tank. In comes the support. Oh my god, JK Low tries to use his ult but does get shut down. Tantalus is able there to shut him and the support player out on the opposition side. In comes Cambridge. They're going huge right now. They need to take down the Winston, which they are able to do so. They're going to push their way through and cement this victory unless this Winston can jump through the window or get around the back. Is he able to do so? He does, but gets shut down. In comes the Sombra, but again, it's not enough as they're pushing through as a single file. Cambridge are there just to pounce on anyone pushing through.
The last second Doomfist coming out doesn't look like it's going to be enough for York overtime. Wants to tick all the way down so quickly. Cambridge turning their guns on each interloper, and that will be a very nice second point. Wow.
I mean, that was pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Their defensive holds when it comes down to these points are fantastic. Really well constructed. The way that they can push through as a unit as well, and really pick out the weak players and work as a unit to do so. Wonderful stuff.
Yeah, this time around it was Skyaxe on the Winston, who was able to get the most work done. Instead of Durf, who still was able to get some pressure down, but nowhere near as much. Which does mean it's now one apiece between York and Cambridge. This is the very first time Underwatch have even lost a game so far this season. We've got one more coming up between York and Cambridge. This could be the chance to break the undefeated streak, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back with that decider game very soon.
For now you can stay right here, we will play until somehow you can find a slightly different frame of mind. Right here in my arms, away from all harm, you'll be safe from all the flares, although I know you don't care. Take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines with your shattered frame of mind. Or instead you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly better frame of mind.
Alright guys, welcome back. The decider game between the Cambridge Cavalry and Underwatch from York will take place, as is most appropriate, on King's Row.
I'm still trying to recover from the last game. I think that was a bit too much excitement for me, but we've got just a little bit of a DC, but it's okay. We'll get things back underway shortly.
It gives us
time
a chance
to recuperate.
Yes. Well, I mean, it gives us a chance to talk through how this series has developed. I mean, based off the game one performance, Cambridge looked like, they were a very solid team, but not a team that could really take a game off our until this point undefeated York side. But I don't know, Chris. If you're going to make a prediction based on what we saw in Game 2, now we're heading on to King's Row, the classic map for the NUEL. Do you think Cambridge can do it again?
No, I'm not making any predictions of the sort because these two are so closely contested. I will make one prediction, however, and say that this map is gonna be hype.
It will be, absolutely. Do bear in mind, guys, this is the second to last week of Swiss. If particularly if Cambridge win out here, they will have managed to take a series off of York, who are almost certainly making it through to the playoff stage at this point. So a hugely important game for both of these teams. For York to preserve that unbeaten record, they would be the only team to have managed to do it. For Cambridge to break that in week 3 would be massive for them as well.
Well, it's a huge confidence boost as well. So as they're undefeated and going up against a team like that, you'd kind of expect your chances to be, quite slim. But Cambridge, I'm really liking the way they play. Really got enough respect for them.
We did see last time round Skyax really able to come out on that Winston and be a massive disruptive force. We have got a little bit of information, at least assuming that York stick to what they've got so far.
They won't.
They won't. I know they won't, but I just want to believe. I want to believe hard enough. I mean, I haven't seen any tourbillons yet, so I'm not completely in the disbelief stage.
I absolutely am. There's no way there's a tourbillon being used. Okay, not a chance. I mean, I'll be impressed if they actually stuck with it, but it's not something that's ever used, if I'm honest.
All right, guys. So we've got this new attempt. The real decider game, 1 game apiece. Cambridge going to be starting out on the blue side. York over on the red. Cambridge going to be bringing out the defense first time round. We'll see how well they can stand up against the barrage of fury coming out of York.
Well, let's have a little look on the defensive side of things and how they're going to compose themselves. You can see that a few minor changes at the last second, but it will be a Diva, a Zarya, Chris, get it right. Zarya, a Junkrat, I've thrown myself off, Moira, Reinhardt, and a Lucio, which is a pretty good composition all in all. I'd expect to maybe see someone playing a little bit further back, maybe using like something like McCree or even a Widowmaker from up top, causing some damage from above. But really, it's more of a close quarters combat that they're going for now.
We're gonna have Skyax. We're gonna bring out the Reinhardt this time round, and the Diva as well to try and punch through. York going for the most direct approach, diving right into the heart of Cambridge.
Oh, and that's a good pin as well, but Skyax gets destroyed from Durf with the Diva, flies across the map in the opposition's direction, and they have to back away. They don't want to give this up already, surely. There's no way that York have already taken the first point, in which they have. They've actually taken the first point already. Cambridge don't want any of this already.
That's crazy. The first push, and they managed to completely break the back of the Cambridge defense. Well, we'll see if perhaps we are seeing a return back more to game 1's Cambridge, where they're willing to give ground in order to make plays. Certainly York are more than willing to take that ground from them, and extremely quickly already moving up way ahead of the payload to take the fight right to Cambridge.
Yeah, they want to try and get a lot of control over here, but in comes the Graviton Surge. Is able to cause a bit of damage. Mokia is able to take down 1, make that 2, sorry, and JK Law is able to take down 2 for himself. G Muno causing some significant damage from afar using the Junkrat, and now it is just down to that one player, Zephox, all alone to try and cause something, but will fall eventually. But a good aggressive stance coming in from the side of York. They want to see this one out quickly.
Yeah, Underwatch from York, really, really aggressive. I think perhaps being put on notice that if Cambridge isn't given York's complete A game, they will take this series from them. Ults coming in, and the Riptide will take out JK LOL at least. Cambridge trying to fight back out of the corner.
Well, that was a huge defensive stance there, actually, from the side of Cambridge, because the Graviton Surge came in, put 3 of them off guard, but Reinhardt uses his shield just to deny any sort of hit coming in from the Riptide at the end of it. So, lovely stuff coming in from them. And now they get aggressive on the defensive side of things, pushing them right the way back towards the first point. But, that being said, as the York decides to push their way through, Cambridge decided to push their way back. Ult has come in over the top. Oh! Right the way over the top and takes out both support players. And really, this will now have to give Cambridge something to think about.
Skyak's gonna desperately try and make the defense, but no, that self-destruct was enough to break York through. They're gonna be going straight for that second checkpoint. And this has gone past so quickly. Cambridge, I don't even know how many more chances they're going to get here, but time is ticking away for their chances. While York have still got 5 minutes left to play with.
Yeah, that's a lot of time, especially going into this final stretch now. There'll be at least 3 more pushes, I think, if it continues to go York's way. But as it stands, Skyax uses his Rapture, managed to take down one. Chances to take down a second using the jump right once again. Defensive stance very well held so far from Cambridge, but you know exactly how the York side will react. They'll take this one on the chin, come back swinging, will push this payload on just a little bit further.
Well, credit to Cambridge for being able to stand up. They can just do exactly that for 4 more minutes, then they'll be golden. But that's still a pretty big ask. Very aggressive play. Tantalus will take out G-Man, has been a hugely influential DPS player for so far. We'll see if they can keep it up. York actually being pressed back a little bit, actually struggling to get really that close to the payload to push it forwards. Ult coming out.
Oh, in comes the ultimate. It does manage to connect, and it's managed to come in from Reinhardt as well. What I was looking to see was the use of the... Oh, didn't really come out too much then. I expected that to do a lot more damage than it did, but Moira picks up one using her ult. G-Moon's able to pick up another, and now they push forward even further. They have them locked down. Only 2 players up. That would be Reinhardt and the D.Va. Waiting for the teammates to be able to push through on this right hand side of the spawn. Now here they come, trying to stop them as they stand. In comes another team fight. Ultimate comes in over the top. Will it connect? It will, but no damage is done. This Graviton Surge comes in from the opposition Zarya, and able to connect with not 1 but 2 of the opposition players, but G-Moon answers right back with one of his own.
It's looking like it's going to be all York right now as the last remaining members of Cambridge desperately fight to stay alive. The respawn's very, very quick coming on to this last point, so if they can just hold on by their fingertips, they can still be in this. There we go, respawning en masse, and they're going to drive York back. This first round is still not over.
Oh, no, it is not. Cambridge do not want to go down so easily, but... in comes another attack. There's still 2.5 minutes of time, and they only have to push it just that little bit further. It will all come down to this next team fight. If it's Cambridge on top, they live to fight another day, but will York want to see this one out in the next 30 seconds? We'll soon find out. In comes the Rapture, in one will fall. He was able to take down one for his own. G-Moon uses his ultimate to take down Zarya at the back of the map. Mokia now down out of the mech and will fall very quickly as well. 1 player left alive, and that will be Aerox left on his own. He will fall, and in comes the... Oh no, it won't be the win! What a huge dive at the end, but is it just too little too late?
Cambridge still fighting, still trying to stay on that payload. It won't be enough, but it does buy them those few more seconds to work with to see if they can better what York were able to pull out there. Still could go from, I think, about 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes time for York, just down to about 1 by the end. Very impressive defensive play from Cambridge. We'll see what their offense is like to try and better what York have done.
Well, it's going to be a tough ask, especially taking that first point. It was so fast. I think it was probably one of the fastest times I've ever seen for that. I mean, the way that they just dove straight onto it, secured it, pushed on successfully. But it doesn't matter now, because now they're on the defensive side of things. You could hope that they can do the exact same thing on the defensive side of things, but we will soon find out. As we see, the tables will turn. How will the compositions be built this time round?
Yes, Chris. For the first time in a while, the hush falls across King's Row. No sound of battle for just 1 minute's time.
And that's the thing, you've got to start slow now because I need to rest my voice. I'm a little bit excited.
It's an exciting match, Chris. It absolutely deserves it. You don't need your voice after this. Blah, blah, blah.
No, of course I don't need to go to work tomorrow at all. Who needs a voice?
Attackers incoming.
All right.
30 seconds.
I mean, Chris, I think you're completely right. I don't know how Cambridge could possibly match that early offensive moves from York, but maybe they can just try and whittle out the game through just straight solid play. We'll see what they decide to go for. York already in position, have got themselves G-Moon back with the long-range damage. It's Paddy D bringing out the Zenyatta this time round. We'll see how well the line holds. Cambridge gonna plow into it.
Interesting use from Tantalus here. He's actually got the hands up, which is quite effective at this very long range, but you have to be so deadly accurate with it that it's going to be difficult to really get anywhere near, especially with the maneuverability coming in from the side of York. But regardless, they've pushed their way onto the point and now they're looking to secure this one down. JK Low doesn't want any of that, however, and will fight his way back. G-Moon takes a hammer to the face, which is not great, but JK Low tries to push his way further forward, and Skyax, though, does a fantastic job of just thwarting the damage coming in from the opposition. Great start here from Cambridge.
Wow, okay, well, we had our doubts that Cambridge could equalize what York did, but that's exactly what they did just do. Able to take on the first push, maybe marginally more slowly, but still, the important part is that they've got just as much room to work with as York did. I wonder if York can defend as well as Cambridge did.
Well, they've given them the time and the space to be able to escort this payload just that little bit further. See how it's going to shape up. You can see there was actually one player up high here as well. That will be G-Moon with the Junkrat trying to get over the top of any shields being used. In comes the ultimates from one. Now we'll see how the contested Xerox actually, Z-Fox, sorry, using the coalescence there to heal up his allies and do a lot of damage to the opposition.
Ooh.
In comes the ultimate there from the opposition Zarya, but no one will fall just yet. There's the Hanzo ult, they'll pick up G-Moon, that shuts him out of the way, but Skyax managed to pick down one for himself. And ultimate comes in from Mokia, and that will be Durf that will fall.
Cambridge are actually able to punch through. York, despite their best efforts, going to be giving up a huge amount of ground here. And already so early on, we're moving in on the second point. Will York be able to hold here? They're certainly going to bring out multiple members. But I think they're actually going to just concede the ground.
It does look as if they are. They're going to let that go and then just give them a lot of time to push their way through. Well, I thought they were going to, but Z7K got really aggressive, as did G-Moon, straight over the top to try and catch off the back line. In comes the Graviton Surge once again. In comes the ultimate from G-Moon, connects with the Graviton Surge to take down two of the opposition players, but Z-Fox is able to take down two. That's two of the support players fallen. Z-Fox picks up another one, taking down G-Moon, so that's huge, because that now gives them the space and time to push their way through.
What an incredible play there. Z-Fox going absolutely crazy bonkers. Are we sure this is a support character? Because they seem to be carrying Cambridge pretty damn hard right now.
Z-Fox is actually being the most aggressive on the side of Cambridge as well. I don't understand why they'll be pushing up so high as a support player, but regardless, they're doing just that and actually putting York on the back foot. They really need to take down JK Law if they're able to push this any further, however, and if they can do so, that will open up an avenue which they haven't seen just yet.
JK Law does have the Earth Shatter ready to go. Tantalus also with the Riptide in pocket, but has been taken out of commission. York able to push all the way back through to the entrance, going to be able to erase some of that work that Cambridge have been able to do up until this point, but still Cambridge looking extremely good on the offense so far.
Well, time to regroup, re-challenge. In comes the Riptire coming in from G-Moon. He's able to not take down one, sorry, it was the opposition who actually used it. But in comes the Graviton Surge, connects with one. JK Low was able to pick down the opposition. Reinhardt in Skyaxe, but again the Riptide comes in. This time it is J-Moons who's able to take down the Zarya. So now again York defensively hold the oncoming attack from Cambridge, but how much more of a barrage can they handle?
Well, we know that Cambridge have got that self-destruct from Okia ready and in pocket for the next push. It's now just a Zarya for Durf going to be able to try and counteract some of the playmaking potential from Cambridge, or maybe generate some of it for York. Cambridge right back on the payload. We have got the Coalescence coming out again, but it's not going to make so much of an impact this time round. Just able to drive Cambridge back for a few seconds. Aerox has fallen down, as has Z-Fox. Tantalus being erased. Cambridge are not getting anywhere with this push.
No, really well held from York so far. Any oncoming attack from Cambridge. Cambridge don't know what to do with themselves right now. They need to think about the composition once again. Think about how they're going to push their way through. They have 3 ultimates at hand. Tantalus is so very close to getting his, as is Quantrino as well. If both of those can get their ultimates at hand, this could be GG's in the chat.
Still, York have got a lot to fire back with. We're waiting to see where these Riptides will make the impact. Going to be coming in from York. Will it land? It gets behind the shield. It's going to go. No, it gets taken out. York now bereft of the huge play. We've got the self-destruct coming through. Will be blocked out by JK Lol. Graviton Surge going to lock Cambridge in place. They're going to get knocked all around the place. G-Moon gets the double, but Cambridge are trading back. They're still up. They're still fighting this. But I think York have just about pushed them off.
No, not just yet. They're still contesting heavily. If I was Cambridge, I would certainly have backed off by this point and tried to regroup their way through. But in comes the Riptire anyway from Tantalus. Is it not able to take down any players? But again, it's just like for like as they push their way through. Now is York on the back foot, as is Cambridge using the Riptires to just push back the opposition. Skyaxe trying to lead the charge, using the Reinhardt to his advantage. Zarya on the opposition side of things, as well as the Moira now diving on to stop the payload from going any further. Cambridge need to regroup. They need to think about this one, as Tantalus is so very much up high above the opposition, trying to get round the back of the shield to cause some significant amount of damage. He takes down the opposition G-Moon, but will fall shortly after to JK Lol.
Cambridge so close, they can taste it. The last bit of that payload push, of course, going to be the toughest, with York respawning almost straight away, able to get back into the fight. Cambridge will need to put York on the ground over and over again if they want to try and equalize. Oh, I honestly don't know if Cambridge can do it. York have been so fierce in the defensive play. Riptire, I think, was going to be coming out there, but got cancelled out by Mocha. As Cambridge make the push in once more, going to get knocked over though by the Earth Shatter. York's defense holds strong for now.
Torntune has actually just wasted his Graviton Surge, had no support in his teammates to be able to even attack anyone who got caught up in that. Didn't even hit anyone either, so, but it doesn't even matter because Mokia's causing a lot of damage on the attacking side of things. Managed to get up and take out 2 of the opposition players. G-Moo's actually switched across to Doomfist and has taken down 2 players within quick succession, but Mokia managed to fall off the map himself, which is not ideal. But Cambridge have 20 seconds now to think about how they're going to attack this and push through as a team. Not much time at all, but they need to do something very, very quickly.
I really like that change from York to bring the Doomfist in. There's so many places near that last point to push people off the side. We saw there with Mokia just not being fully aware. One last push come in from Cambridge. Graviton Surge locking them in place. 3 kills for York. I think Cambridge might just be done here. We're into overtime, but Cambridge being driven away en masse. And York, the Underwatch, maintain their unbeaten record.
Whew, I tell you what, there was a moment where I thought Cambridge were going to do it, but York defensively were fantastic. The last minute and a half was so intense, it could have gone either way depending on certain actions, but the use of the Graviton Surge here was absolute perfection. Mix that in with Doomfist, who can just come in and wallop any of the players caught up in it. That's what you love to see.
I mean, it's a testament to how influential G-Moon was on that Doomfist. So barely in the game, but still got play of the game from all that incredible stuff. And Underwatch remain top of the heap. Good lord, that was quite the series.
Absolutely, I think I'm going to need a little break just to recuperate after that one.
Well,
Whew.
we've got lots of snow outside, which is good for cooling off. Also, I hear.
I'm not going to take that chance. I think it's -7 outside right now.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I'll
hope
give
you
that a
guys
miss.
have enjoyed what we've been bringing you this week. We've got one more week worth of Swiss coming in next week before we head into playoffs starting on the 15th, semifinals on the 22nd. We now know that York are going to be coming into at least week 4, if not the playoff stages, as the firm favourites. But I will absolutely be keeping an eye out for the Cambridge Cavalry as well. They've shown us some pretty impressive stuff, and I reckon with enough time, with enough practice, I wonder maybe they could take a real best of 3, maybe best of 5 off York.
Oh, absolutely. Given the full whack, it could really go the full distance. I mean, Cambridge really putting a name out for themselves as some sort of, I think they could definitely give York a run for their money later on in the series now that they both know how each other works.
Alright guys, that will be it for us this evening, and next time we'll be back. We'll be with League of Legends on Sunday at 6:45. So if you'd like to come along and join that, same sort of thing, all students playing from across the UK, also vying for the spot in a NUEL Live, then please do come and join us. I've been Peter Counterfeit Harnell, joined by Chris Stealth, who's definitely not Scottish no matter what you've heard. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.